Thursday morning, April 9th. Let's head out to the pole barn and maybe do a quick update. Haven't really posted much for a while. Been working on a lot of little miscellaneous jobs. And as you can see, we got a little surprise this morning. This shouldn't last too long. So I spent a little bit of time working on lighting and wanted to take a shot at doing these floodlights on my own, and I was able to do that. So you see we've got a floodlight there over the garage door. And another one here on the south side up in the peak. And that floodlight has two switches. There's one inside this door, and there's another switch way up there by the front door. So a couple of three-way switches and a couple of lights. Shouldn't be too difficult. I used this wiring diagram that I found on howtowirealightswitch.com and just took my time, traced each of these wires. It took me a couple of tries to get it, but this was a good diagram, and I was able to use it to wire these lights up. And there it is, all lit up. Turn that on or off from the house if I want. So as I mentioned, I've been working on lighting. So let's start in here. All right, have all the lights up in the workshop, and there are plenty of them. I want good lighting when I'm working in here. So these are all in place and online. Got all the lights up in the garage. Now I'm short of bulbs. I'm still waiting on these LED bulbs to come in, so I've just put one in each of the fixtures. I was short one there. But I've at least got all my lights wired in here now. And on the back side here in this little back bay, set of 3 lights there. So plenty of lighting now for this building. And I'll show you. That light up in the peak is really where all the action is. There's a lot of wiring coming in there. 2 switches, power, and out to the 2 lights. So I just put a junction box up in there. Did that yesterday. And I wanted to work up in there right now this time of year, because in another week or two when it starts to warm up, it's going to be really hot up there. So I was glad to get that done. So the other thing I'll be doing here is I've still got to run all my outlets for the east and the north wall, as well as some ceiling outlets. I've got a box there. But basically pretty much where you see a pole coming down, I'll put an outlet at each one of those spots. So there'll be 6 along the back wall, and then another 3 along the north wall, and then I think 3 more ceiling outlets here. And at that point, I will be done with my wiring. It's Saturday, April 11th. This week I finished up doing all of my outlets. So I mentioned that we'd be doing outlets along the east wall and the north wall. All those are in. All of my ceiling outlets are in. I've got 1 here and 3 more out in the north bay. And I jumped on this and went ahead and added my 2 remaining 20 amp breakers into the box. So with this, we're done with wiring. There's really nothing left to do right now. That wire you see hanging out there is actually just gonna terminate inside this box, and it's there so that later on, if I want some 50 amp 220s out in the north part of the pole barn, I don't have to bring the wire. It's all there. It'll just be terminated. So next up is heating. So got a bid for heating this week. It was actually got a couple of bids, and they were way far apart. I couldn't believe the difference. One was probably just about 60% of the other. So anyway, the boiler is already on order. Hopefully it'll be here Monday, and Tuesday it'll be going in. So I had to get this plywood up so they'd have a place to mount that. The wall is still open on the back, and back there we're going to end up poking through a 220. It's a 50 amp to run the electric mini boiler. And then there's also a 110 circuit back there to run some of the controls. So I'm just waiting until they come Tuesday to do the work, and we'll punch through wherever it needs to go. So looking forward to it next week. We'll have some heat in here.